Good morning, everybody. Madam Roy back once again. Back to you live from the Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail, also known as the bike trail, the walking path, what have you. I know it's probably going to take a little while to get everybody on board here. I decided to go out for my morning walk today. Mom is busy, she has other plans, so figured I'd just do a walk myself. Gonna make this kind of a leisurely walk, and thought I'd bring you guys along with me. I'll probably turn the camera around in a couple of minutes. Got to see exactly how I'm going to do this. Unfortunately, I can't walk as fast as I usually would, being that I'm filming, and this may be a little shaky at times, but we'll try and figure that problem out when we get to it. Excuse me, my lips are a little dry. Last night we stayed up late watching the Running Man movie, which was one of my absolute favorites from the 80s. And I didn't get quite as much sleep as I would have liked to last night, so just a little tired right now. But I just had my first cup of coffee, and that should be going through me any time now, so I should have a little bit of a caffeine boost shortly. Now, if you look in the background here, you can see that the trees are still pretty bare. You know, we're right in the middle of winter right now. Normally, with this trail, these trees are full of leaves, and it makes like an umbrella effect over the trail. So on really sunny days, it is more than doable to be able to walk this without having to wear any type of sunscreen or sunblock or what have you. I'm actually able to keep up my pace pretty well. I'm actually have the pedometer on as well, so I'm hoping it's not going to kill the battery too quickly. But we'll see what we can do here. I'm going to turn you guys around for a minute if I can figure out how to do that. Here we go. There you go. You guys can kind of see the trail here. They made it as straight as possible, and the reason they were able to do that is this was originally railroad tracks. They call this part of the rail to trail projects. Eventually, this is going to go all the way from downtown Suffolk to the beach, and it's going to be over 30 miles long. Right now, it only goes from near where I live to a little town called Driver. So basically, that's only about 7 miles. But you know what? It's a start, right? I mean, this is something that's going to help the entire community out when it comes to fitness, lifestyle changes. This trail alone has helped me lose over 43 pounds, and I am eternally grateful to it. And I am a supporter of the Rail to Trail project, as they call it. And you guys can look that up online. I think it's like just Google Rail to Trails, and you can actually become a sponsor. They have different levels there. I think it's starts at $5 for like a junior member, goes upwards to $100, and you can choose what level you want to give at. So it's really something that is not just in our area, but it's going to be going on across the country. I know in different states. I know so far Maryland, DC area, parts of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and there was one other state. I want to say it was South Dakota. I know already are in the works for these type of trails. The idea being they want to go ahead and try to connect as much of the country as possible with these types of trails. And I think they're doing a really, really good job. Now, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, but it really won't affect us too much, this area over here, between here and the road, they're trying to develop. As a matter of fact, you can see a realtor sign right there. I won't show everybody the name, I don't want to give any undue credit to this, believe me. But what they're trying to do is they're actually trying to develop this area and maybe build houses, which I think is kind of a shame because it's so beautiful here right now. I mean, you can look from here to the street, and you have a nice buffer zone. Granted, you have a few houses over there in the background, but, you know, it's just a really nice effect. And it's going to be a shame if they do actually build houses here, and I think that's what's going to happen. You know, progress is progress. Wow, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if that tree is dead. I'm looking at this tree right here, and it looks like all the bark has been chewed off. You can see the bark is down here, just strewn all over the bed with all these pine leaves. But look at that. Looks like there was some type of mold growing on there. I wonder if this tree succumbed to some type of disease. You can see it's still got some of the bark up there. Yeah, this tree's definitely dead. You can see all the branches are falling off. They're probably going to have to take that one down. That's kind of a shame, though, because, you know, the more trees we lose, the less coverage we have, especially in the spring and summertime. Fall, the leaves start coming off here pretty quickly. Let's see, we have 2 watchers and 2 likes. That's awesome. Go ahead and click that like button if you like it. You can ask me some questions. I'll answer as many as I possibly can, though it is kind of hard to do when you're walking like this. But what a gorgeous, gorgeous day. And they do a very good job on these trails of actually keeping them clean. It's very important that these are clear of debris. A lot of times, like during the winter, right after a storm, you'll see a lot of these pine leaves have blown on there. We've even had a lot of branches that have fallen off onto the trail. But they get the, I know they get the street sweeper down here. And one swoop, he's able to clean it off. And as you can see, they definitely maintain it very nicely. Not too much else to see right now. I'm going to turn you guys around so you can see my face again. I have to keep switching hands because I'm starting to get a little sore because I'm actually having to hold my phone up as high as I can. It's a little extra exercise, right? Right now I'm probably walking about 2.5 miles an hour. Normally I'd be walking closer to 3. But if I did that, we'd be getting very, very bumpy. So I'm going to do kind of a steady pace here. Just going to keep switching arms and give them a little bit of a break here. Temperature-wise, we're sitting right at about 55 degrees now. And it's marginal whether or not you need a jacket. Somebody of my size is perfectly fine going without a jacket. But if you were thinner and more prone to the cold weather, I'd say you'd be better off bringing a little light jacket like a windbreaker. Unusual in our area for this time of the year. Generally in beginning of February is usually the coldest time, so wouldn't be unusual to see 20s and 30 degree Fahrenheit temperature, that is, not Celsius. Excuse me. Should have drank a little more water before this, but we'll make it work. Well, let's see what we got. We got 3 watchers and 3 likes. Go ahead and ask me some of your questions. I'm not sure if nobody's asked any questions so far. It's okay. I'll just continue to ramble on a little bit here. I really having to switch between arms here. Dad was planning on going out to lunch today, and he asked me to go with him. They're going to Ruby Tuesdays, him and the car guys. And I originally said yes, but then I kind of declined because my weight loss is going so well, guys. I am down to 286 pounds, and that was as of yesterday. I didn't bother weighing myself this morning because when you weigh yourself, you want to try to do it maybe 2 or 3 times a week because, believe it or not, your weight can fluctuate depending on the time of the day. Like generally at night, because I have all the food in my stomach, I actually weigh 4 pounds heavier than I do in the morning. So best to weigh yourself in the morning if you're on a diet like I am, or a lifestyle change as we call it, and to try to limit yourself to maybe 2, maybe 3 times a week. So do it maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That way you don't get too discouraged, because I'll be the first one to admit, when I first started this, my body was kind of slow adapting. It took me about 2 weeks to actually lose anything, the first 2 weeks, because my body hadn't gotten the metabolism going. I hadn't ramped up my metabolism yet. I didn't see any weight loss for about 2 weeks, and I started getting really discouraged. I'm like, boy, I'm working hard, cutting back on my food, and I'm not seeing any benefits for my efforts. So just don't get discouraged. Give it some time, and you'll eventually get there. Beautiful. Let's see what we got here. 3 watchers, 3 likes. I actually didn't expect there to be a lot of watchers this time of day. I mainly did this so you guys could probably watch it later when you get home. So don't feel too bad if you miss this live stream. I'm just kind of starting to do these more instead of regular videos, just because it's a little bit more convenient for me. I have my phone, I can do this, I can interact with those that might be here to see it live, and it's a lot less editing on the end run for me, because I'll be honest with you, that's the part I hate the most about doing YouTube videos, the editing. I am not good at it. I have a friend of mine, Mike Eats. Mike, if you see this, you're the man when it comes to video editing. He can take an hour's worth of footage, cut it down to maybe 10-15 minutes of the most important components, and it really looks professional. And I know I probably could do it, but to be perfectly honest, at least in my case, it's probably the kind of the laziness factor. Like, I don't like sitting in front of my computer for hours and hours and hours and editing footage. I'd rather be doing things like this, walking outside, enjoying the day. But that's just me. I'm weird. What can I tell you? Oh. Ooh. Saw my breath there for a minute. Still very dry today. I think the humidity level's down. We have a lot of clouds today, and there's a chance of rain. That's kind of why I wanted to get the walk done early, because I think as the day progresses, like around 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, they're talking about like a 70 to 80% chance of rain. So I knew if I was going to get any type of exercise outside in today, it would have to be early in the morning. And see, right now it's probably about 10, maybe 10:30. So I think I'm doing well. If I don't walk the entire path, or what we usually do today, that's okay, because I actually pulled out one of my old exercise tapes, and I'm kind of relearning how to exercise indoors for bad days. You can look it up too. It's Leslie Sansone's Walk Aerobics. It's actually from the mid-1980s. She got married. Her new name is, I think, Leslie Tamalio. But it's the same lady. She did walk aerobics and advanced walk aerobics. And there she teaches you how to like walk in place and do variations of that to basically get a full cardio workout, an hour-long cardio workout in your house on days that you just can't go outside. It's too cold, the weather's bad. Maybe your car's broke down and it's in the shop and you literally can't get out of the house. So any one of those reasons. But yeah, Leslie Sansone's or Leslie Tamalio's Walk Aerobics. You look it up both ways, because I don't know if she's still currently married or not. I hope she is. She's a really nice lady. She did a lot of exercise videos in the past. Oh, actually someone else coming on the path for a change. Getting a little winded this morning. I was up late, so you don't get as much sleep, then you get kind of tired. Whew. Morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, it's good. Trying to get that exercise in, right? There you go. Oh. How's the flu epidemic there? I didn't see who asked that. Let's see. Robert Westfall. As far as I know, it's okay. I know a few people that have had the flu here. Basically, when I'm out and I see somebody sneezing, I run away as fast as I possibly can. I'm not kidding. I'm absolutely not kidding, because I do not want to get the flu. I've had the shot, but I've had the shot in years past, and I still got the flu. I kind of question whether or not I actually got the flu from the shot, but I don't think so. I don't want to say that, because I don't want anybody to say, "Oh man, I didn't go get the flu shot because you said you got the flu from the shot, and I got the flu." No, but the way I look at it is, when it comes to any kind of illness, you can do the best you can. You can wash your hands, you can avoid shaking people's hands, you can wear gloves, masks. But in the end, if the germs are there, they're going to get in you. And the best thing I can tell you to do, preventative maintenance. I take massive doses of vitamin D, C, and B12. Actually, I do that 2 times a day. I take the Nature's Made vitamin D supplements and the B12 supplements, and then for lunch I actually drink a Ensure, or the Walmart equivalent of it, and that kind of doubles up my vitamin intake. That coupled with the exercise, and I haven't had any problems. I haven't even had so much as a cold this year. So keeping your immune system up is key. And there's other supplements out there you can try. Airborne is one that my uncle takes a lot because he works in a building where he has to be in contact with a lot of people on a regular basis. I'm talking about hundreds of different people. So he wants to make sure his immune system is up to par, and that seems to work for him. I've never tried it myself, but you know what? Whatever works for you, works for you. Over 20 people, the best way to Dallas country alone. I'm not sure I understand that. That was Robert Westfall again. Okay, you gotta emphasize on that. I'm having a hard time reading a little bit. You guys can still ask your questions. Problem I'm having right now is the sun just peeked out, and it's pretty much covering my screen, so I can barely make out words at this point. So if you send me a question and I don't answer right now, I apologize in advance. But I knew it was gonna be kind of hard to see the questions today, especially when the sun came out. Well, I'm kind of glad it did. Actually feels pretty good. We're getting close to the end of this section of the trail. I'm gonna go ahead and turn you guys around for a minute here. Right at the end here, this is the first 2 miles of the trail. So basically, once I'm at the end here, you guys will have been with me for 2 miles so far. And then I'm gonna go a little bit further, and we're gonna walk. I'm going to try to walk down to where they have the orange, Mom calls me orange cones. They're actually orange vent pipes for the gas lines that run down this way. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way because my lower back is extremely sore again. I may try to have Dad work on it. For those of you that don't know, my father is a retired massage therapist, so that's pretty handy to have in the family whenever my back gets really sore or my legs. He can spend about 5 or 10 minutes doing deep tissue therapeutic massage, and I'm pretty much good to go again at that point. And that's always been my problem. My legs have been good, my feet don't hurt me, but my lower back on occasion will get very, very tight, especially after I've been walking for a long time. And I've had it checked out. It's pretty much just muscle strain, because I have a very, very poor muscular tone in my upper body. Basically, from my waist up, I have very, very poor muscular tone. No matter what I do, I work out with weights, and I still don't have a lot of muscle built up. But you know what? We all have our crosses to bear in life. Unfortunately, that's mine. So just got to kind of persevere through it and do the best we can. Boy, I tell you, it seems like the end of the trail gets further and further every time I do this. But we're going to make it there, and I'll show you guys. They're actually doing some construction here. They're doing something with the sewer system. I don't know if they're upgrading it or they're actually just putting a new system in altogether. They've been doing a lot of different construction projects on this road lately. Let's see, we got 4 likes and 2 watchers right now. I'll give you guys an update on this live stream. Whew. I'll tell you, my back is getting kind of sore. I think what I'm going to do is just go to the end here and then head back today. That way I don't overdo it. And that's really important to note as well. There's a fine balance between keeping up your exercise routine and doing rest days. In other words, you don't want to overdo it. If you overdo your exercise, you're going to burn yourself out, and then you'll be gone. You'll be out of the game for a week or two. So just got to take it easy. You got to listen to what your body's telling. If your body's telling you you're doing too much, then you probably are doing a little too much. You might want to cut down a little bit. And bear in mind, you know, like what I'll probably do today is I'll get two, maybe 3 miles in this morning, and then I can go ahead and work out a little bit later on. I love American forests. Oh, they're beautiful. Though I'll tell you, I've seen some really nice British countryside with a lot of deep and dense forests too. Never been over there yet. Still want to someday get over to the UK. I think that would be a very, very interesting trip, if I say so myself. Need to get my passport first. You know, I've never actually gotten a passport. No, I am in the United States, not England. I'd love to go there one day. Still got to get my passport. The only other country I have visited is Canada, and it was just Quebec, because that's where my father was born, and that's it. Pretty much the United States and Canada. In the United States, I've been to pretty much all of the East Coast states, being that I live in Virginia. Been all the way up to Maine before. Been down to Florida. Been through Georgia, and then I've been to Nevada. This past year I went to Las Vegas. Been to Arizona because we went to the Grand Canyon, and I've also been to California. But no, I've never actually been to Los Angeles. We went through Bakersfield, then we went to San Simeon to see the Hearst Castle, then we went up north to visit relatives in Sonora, wine country. Unfortunately, I don't like wine, so that was kind of a bummer. You know, I had opportunities up there to try their wine, but never developed a taste for it ever since I was very young. One time when we were in Canada, I was about 12 or 13 years old, and the rules are different up there. We went to a 50th anniversary party for my grandparents, my dad's parents, and all they had was wine for the kids. And bear in mind, I was 12 years old, so they were like, go ahead and drink it. It was actually sangria, so I mean, it was mild wine, but to a 12-year-old, that was just gross. And my grandmother kind of made me drink it, so ever since then, I never had a taste for it, especially red wine. I'll have white wine on occasion, but that's about it. I just think it kind of tastes nasty to me. See what we're up to here. We got 3 watchers, 4 likes. Make sure you click that like button if you like this video. That'll let me know you do, and it means I'll go ahead and do more of these types of videos. We are coming in just a minute here to the end of the trail. I think that's where I'm actually going to end this live stream. I don't want to run my battery down too much. I have other things I have to do today. Let's go ahead and turn you guys around here. Coming to the end of this section of the trail. And I do have to reiterate, I'm sorry, I said this was 2 miles. This is a mile. Basically, if I was to walk to the end, and I also have to walk back here all the way to the car at that end, that would be a total of 2 miles. So yes, I do apologize. I meant to say it was 2 miles back and forth. Now, if I was to walk a little bit further, which I may still do today, I haven't really decided, I can actually get about 3 miles in. It's basically 2 miles, and walk half a mile down that way and a half a mile back. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't want to work out too much because my back is really, really sore at the moment. See how long we've been doing this for. It's about 25 minutes. And one thing I really like about this trail is there aren't that many street crossings. You know, you've been with me this whole time, and this is really the first street crossing I've come to. You can see they are really working hard over there, trying to get all this stuff done. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's cross the street really quick, because there is something I want to show you here. And you do have to be very careful when crossing the street. Now, normally, the path goes right here. You can actually see where it continues, but they're doing road work now, so they've actually kind of broken up this part of the path. And you actually have to walk over here. And this is how you get on the path right now. Sheets Magnum. It's like a light generator with a light on it so they can work at night. But yeah, you can see that they're digging up and putting in new sewer drainage. I don't think this is like house sewage. I think this is more like storm water, but I could be wrong. There's a Thompson pump over there for you guys that really enjoy pump videos. Again, I don't know a lot about construction, so we'll go ahead and leave them to it. And then this is the other end of the trail, and literally that's the only cross street. If you walk this end of the trail, you'll just go out into the total end of it, which is in the little town of Driver. And that's really nice that it only has one cross street, because that helps tremendously when you know, when you're walking, you're trying to keep up a pace. You don't want to be stopping every 5-10 minutes to have to cross a street. That's not good for your workout at all. So they really planned this trail out very, very nicely. And as you can see, this end of the trail isn't quite as well covered. You have trees on one side close to the trail, but the other side, the trees are kind of pushed in, I don't know, maybe 100, 200 feet. Hi, Matt. The camera is blurry. Okay, let me clean it off. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's condensation. You got to remember, this is a live stream, so there'll be times where the video quality isn't the greatest. I'm not even exactly sure what my signal is right here. We're at 7 watchers and we have 4 likes. You know what? I'm starting to feel like I got my second win, so let's go ahead and walk down this trail a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera around if it'll let me. Wow. It's a lot better, yeah. I think what happened was when I went to that construction site, they were producing a lot of smoke and steam, and I think the camera lens just kind of fogged up a little bit there. And now you can see my ugly mug. Now, but you can see my transitions. Wow. Actually, it looks like I'm wearing sunglasses right now. Now the sun's kind of poked behind the tree, I can actually see myself through the camera lens a little bit better. Now the wind is starting to pick up, so I'm going to try to talk up a little bit. You guys can let me know if you can still hear me. If not, I'll just let you guys enjoy the scenery. Let me see. Had off from school today due to snow and freezing rain and our icing roads. DJ plays. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by here. You know what? I think my aunt is in the same boat right now. She sent a message out on Facebook that her and my cousin are stuck inside with the wood stove, and I think they're going to cuddle up and maybe watch a movie. And every once in a while, she said she's going to go ahead and shovel the walk. Aunt Lisa, you're really nice for doing that, so Uncle Kevin doesn't have to do that when he gets home. Evan Keok, if I'm not pronouncing it right, I apologize. Hey Matt, are you interested in 3D printing? I'm interested in it. I don't know when I'll ever have the extra money to actually buy a 3D printer. I know you can get them pretty cheap now. I know they're like $200-300. I guess you could say I'm interested in it, but not enough to shell out any kind of significant money to buy one. If I come across one like at the thrift stores, I might go ahead and pop on it. I know a few people have actually found the older first-gen 3D printers at thrift stores, believe it or not. Interesting question. Yeah, I think about it maybe one time out of 100. It'd be kind of nice to 3D print a Alvin and the Chipmunks figurine, don't you think? Maybe I can make my own Alvin memorabilia there. Yeah, that's a good idea. I can get somebody to design the character, pop it into the computer, and have it 3D printed. He got one, let's see, Charles Lipinski. Your dad bought one for $100? Okay. Wow, I didn't know they had gone down quite that low. Yeah, maybe I will. Never know. I got a lot of projects on my bench right now. That's why That's why I haven't been doing as many videos as I usually do. I've literally had 5 different projects going on right now, and it's a shame. There's a lot of stuff I would really like to show you guys, but for reasons I've explained before, it's really hard to film in the house right now with everybody home, because I love my mother to death, and I'm sure she's going to see this, but her voice carries. And every time I try to film a video at home, even if I ask nicely for them, just to try to keep it down, I keep my door shut, inevitably her voice comes through. She either forgets, she has to tell my dad something, she's yelling at the cat for being somewhere that he shouldn't be. So once they go away on their trip, I'm hoping that I'll be able to do some more. I know I'll be able to do some more videos in the house uninterrupted. Let's see. Brand new around a year ago, but it works only in one color. Yeah, Charlie, I've heard about the cheaper ones that they have a lot of limitations like that. Either one color or, what was the other thing? Only one type of material. I think it's plastic usually for the cheaper ones. Like the cheapest ones will mold things out of plastic. Do a step up from that, it'll do maybe like wood or plastic and wood, and then only the most expensive ones you can actually 3D print metal objects. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Let me see what we got here. We have, looks like 5 watchers and 4 likes. That is totally awesome. Well, guess what? I think I'm actually going to make it to the halfway point today of where we usually go. So let me turn you guys around. You guys can look at the scenery a little bit more here. Just about another 1/4 mile, I would say, is where we usually end up. You can actually see it just a little bit to the right there, these little vent posts, as we call them. I tell you, the other day I was here, there were crows all up in the trees. One in particular, I think, was right at the top tall branch of that tree there. And it is amazing because it was not a totally black crow. It had some like white spots on it, so I didn't really think it was a crow at first. Then all of a sudden I heard it cawing, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is most definitely a crow. Fogging up again. All right, let me see if I can fix that one more time. There we go. That's the last time I'm going to wipe it. If it fogs up again, I'm just going to go ahead and end this live stream, because I guess there's a little bit more condensation, more humidity out today than I thought. Woo! It is really, really getting windy. That usually means a storm's coming. Let's say, use my little finger technique. The wind is coming out of the south and blowing northeasterly. So yeah, definitely got a storm coming in. Just for those of you that are curious, that's south, that's north. I'm walking west right now, and if on the way back I'll be walking east. So there's your little compass reading. And the way, even if I didn't know that, and I don't know if I'll be able to see it or not, but from what I understand, moss, from my Boy Scout days, moss grows on the north side of trees. So if you look over here, let's see if there's anything growing. I don't think there is. These are the wrong kind of trees. These kind of trees usually don't grow moss, but you get the idea. All right, tubers, I am almost there. Woo! Listen to that wind. This is the worst part, because right now my back's starting to hurt and I really want to turn around, but I need to make it to those orange posts, those orange vents. And this is what you got to do. Sometimes, even when you're hurting, you got to persevere. Pain is progress. That's the best thing I could tell you. Now, once again, don't get to the point where you're going to be down and out for any length of time. But if you're just starting to get a little bit achy, that's fine. Slow yourself down, maybe take a break, take a sip of water if you brought it. I didn't because I don't like carrying a lot of things. If I was going to do a longer walk, I would probably bring a little backpack or something. We're almost there. When Johnny comes marching home again, here it is. Petroleum pipeline, and somebody put some type of graffiti up there. But this is it. This is where we usually turn around. So what I'll do is I'll walk like this. Make sure I'm even with this other little post here. And then we will start heading back. And if my camera will work for me, that's it. That is half of the walk that we usually do on a daily basis. Now, I just have to head back to the car. And that is, believe it or not, going to be a total of 3 miles. So I'm going to end the live stream here because I really do hear that I really do hear the wind picking up, and I'm sure you guys are probably having a hard time hearing this. So please continue to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for some really good content coming in the near future. Don't forget the 5,000 subscriber giveaway, which will be coming up very shortly. I'm only about 40 subscribers away from that, so if you guys want that, you guys can help by telling your friends about my channel. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.